In this React TypeScript code file, I have three components. Products is the topmost level component. You can say that in this scenario, it is the quote-unquote parent component. It maintains no state whatsoever. Products receive one child component, the product card. We can imagine that each product card would contain a product coming back from the API in an e-commerce application. And as you can see here, I am using React's Context API to share data between components so that we do not have to rely on an external library like Redux Toolkit, Zeusden, or Jotai. The product card component is the component that actually owns the state in this application. Additionally, it also is the context provider, providing context data to any other components within the application that wish to consume this product data. The product details component will consume the context data being provided above. At the risk of sounding overly pedantic, let's go to the architecture one more time for this file. We have products component at the top. It maintains no state and does not consume any context data. We have the products card component, which actually owns the state and provide the context for other components to consume. In this case, its only consumer is the product's detail component. If we were to post a question in a React application that uses context API data, which one of these components or components will re-render when the data changes or when there's a state change? If we think about this logically, clearly the product card component will re-render when there's a state change because it owns the state, right? It fetches data from the API, so it will definitely re-render when there are product changes coming from the API because it's providing data to the rest of the components within the application, which will have a waterfall effect or a trickle-down effect within the component tree in React. So therefore, products detail will also re-render because it is a consumer of the context data, which ultimately comes from some data source. And in most web application or React Native application, that's from the API. And I'm going to prove this out in the UI. So here is our application running in the browser, and I've designed it in the way where you can see the component. It's color coded, right? The red here is the main component, the parse component, and then the blue is the product's card component, and the green is the product's detail components. And of course, I've made it so that this is dynamic. It will change, and then you can, if as a fallback, you can also look at the console logout as well. Now, the reason why this is rendered 2 times is because this is a local application. This is in development mode. And if you're not aware, in React, for local development, in the local development environment, if you have strict mode on, React will render the application twice for bug checking. This only happens in local development environment, not in production. These two buttons here resides in the product's detail component at the lowest level. So now let's say that the price changes. There's a price change coming back from the API, so therefore we have to update product's detail. See that? See how products details and products cards get re-rendered every time? And the main component in the red here, it does not change. It remains at 2. And of course, I already explained why it's being rendered 2 times there already because of strict mode. See that? It doesn't changes. Only the consumer and the provider, the component that maintains and owns the state, and of course are the consumers. Okay, the parent component, quote unquote, does not re-render in the component tree. All right. So if you have people that wants to see a visual representation of a React application that uses the Context API to pass data around, and of course React's Context API is essentially a pub sub pattern. And in this case, the component are nested inside of each other. So products detail component is nested inside of products card component, which is inside the products component. These two components obviously are not siblings, right? They have a parent-child relationship, as is product card is a child to the products component. And again, at the risk of sounding redundant and pedantic, products detail component is subscribing to the data that is being provided by products card, that is the state owner in this small application. So therefore, of course, it will have to re-render when there are state changes, right? And obviously the consumer will re-render as well, and the outermost component will not need to be re-rendered. So share this video with people that needs a visual representation of Context API in action, especially in a nested state like this. Okay, my dear friends, please consider subscribing to my channel. Please give this video a like, a thumbs up. If you are seeing ads being played in my videos, YouTube put that there. I did not put that there. My long form videos on YouTube are not monetized. I'm not getting paid for any of those ads as of yet. I do have a Patreon account if you wish to contribute that way. Otherwise, you can just subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.